Well, there are a variety of different businesses that will call themselves by different names: debt consolidators, debt settlement, credit repair agencies. Most of these businesses are just that. They're businesses. They're not professional practices. They're not run by attorneys. And I, I have at least one bone to pick with them, and that is that they end up giving legal advice to their customers, and they're not lawyers. They're telling people who come in their doors, oh, don't file bankruptcy. But they really aren't qualified to give them that advice. And in fact, I listen to the drive time radio ads, and that is the single most popular hook for the business. It's avoid bankruptcy, as if the sky's going to fall. You're going to have the scarlet bee embroidered across your chest for the next 10 years. And oh my God, won't that be horrible? And that is the picture that they paint, and people fall for it. People really are extraordinarily motivated to avoid bankruptcy, a lot of times just because they're not well informed. So what these outfits usually accomplish is not nearly as good as what bankruptcy could do for the customer. It's not as fast. It's not as effective. When you use one of these agencies, or even if you did it on your own, as an individual borrower, you could conceivably pick up the phone, call each one of the dozen or so credit card issuers that you have and say, look, I'm in a bind. Let's make a deal. If you don't pay as agreed, your credit report is not going to say paid as agreed for each of those accounts. It's going to say something different. It might be paid as settled, but it's certainly not going to be paid as agreed. So what unfortunately a lot of borrowers find themselves in is a situation where, yes, they've avoided bankruptcy, yes, they've consolidated these debts, and maybe their phone is no longer ringing, but their credit score is still in the toilet. And so what have they really accomplished? In my mind, the only thing that they've accomplished is that they have, in fact, avoided bankruptcy. Well, then the question is that a good thing or a bad one? And for most of these borrowers, recovery from bankruptcy would be quicker, cleaner, and more effective. Average recovery time in a Chapter 7 is 2 years. It's all about what you do after the bankruptcy. If you stay employed, you have a decent earnings history, you don't move around a lot, you're going to find that your credit score recovers at an almost miraculous rate. 2 years really is the average to hit mid to high 700s, maybe even in the 800s.
For your free bankruptcy consultation in San Diego, please call 619-235-9645.